Hello and welcome to Hypothyroid Chef. I'm Ginny Mahar, your thyroid health and cooking coach. And today we're going to be making 3 easy thyroid-friendly mocktails for any occasion. I'm excited to share these recipes with you. I know for me, greatly reducing alcohol in my life has been one of the best choices that I've made to support my health as a Hashimoto's patient, to support my thyroid function, to support my liver, to support my weight loss efforts, to support my sleep, my gut health. There's so many different ways that alcohol unfortunately affects us pretty negatively and in ways that directly affect some really common thyroid related symptoms like those sleep issues, gut health issues, digestive issues, things like that. So, cutting down, cutting out, reducing alcohol can just be a really helpful thing. And one of the best, most effective, I think, strategies that has helped me, and I know has helped some other people in my Thrivers Club community, is making sure to have alternatives on hand, like delicious mocktails. I mean, it's just nice to have something celebratory to enjoy as a drink. Whether it's the holidays or a special occasion, it doesn't have to have alcohol in it for it to be fun. So I'm going to share 3 really awesome recipes with you today that I absolutely love. First, we'll make a cranberry ginger fizz that's really festive. You can have it any time of year, but it's especially nice at the holidays. Next, I'll show you my virgin martini. Yes, that's a virgin martini. There's no alcohol in it whatsoever. And then finally, a really hydrating citrus chia fresca that is just so delicious and wonderful on, a hot day or if you're feeling dehydrated. So I'll show you those recipes and let's get to it. Okay, so each of these recipes has some thyroid-friendly highlights that I'll try to cover as I'm preparing these for you. So first we're going to make our cranberry ginger fizz. And here I've got some cinnamon ginger syrup that has been simmering for about 20 minutes on the stovetop. Now this is a big batch. The recipe for this can be found in my thyroid-friendly Thanksgiving survival guide and e-cookbook. If you're interested in that, if you want some help at the holidays, there's some really awesome festive recipes in there, including this mocktail. But I've made a batch of syrup for that recipe. This is a 8-person serving. So this is a pretty big batch here, but this syrup will keep for about a month in the fridge and it's really delicious. And you can add it to tea. You can just add it to some plain mineral water. You don't have to make this, kind of more gussied up mocktail, but this is really delicious and it's kind of key because what we're essentially making here is like a cranberry ginger ale. So what's in this? This has been simmering for about 20 minutes. It's a 1/4 cup of minced ginger, 2 cinnamon sticks, a 1/2 cup of water, and a 1/2 cup of honey. And so I just let that kind of bubble on the stovetop for about 20 minutes. Then I'll let it sit and steep for a while as it cools to just infuse even more of that flavor. So I've got a glass filled with some ice here. I'm going to go ahead and strain this syrup into a measuring cup here. And then, obviously we're not going to use all this, so I would just take this and store it in a jar in the fridge. And yeah, this will keep refrigerated for, I'd say, at least a month, maybe more. Sugar is a preservative and, this is, half of it is honey. So it should last a pretty good long time for you. But it smells so amazing. It makes the house smell really Christmassy. So I love the smell of this. All right, so for 1 serving, we're going to use 3/4 of an ounce, which is about a tablespoon and a half. So put a little bit of that syrup in there, maybe just a touch more. And then we're going to do 1 ounce of cranberry juice. Now this is pure, unsweetened cranberry juice. That there's only the 1 ingredient in it is just cranberry juice. There's no apple juice concentrate. There's no added sugar. So this is quite a bit different than your typical cranberry juice cocktail. And that is sort of key for this recipe because we're getting the sweetness from that ginger cinnamon syrup. And, you know, we don't want to be, you know, adding like high fructose corn syrup or anything like that that's in cranberry juice cocktails. So just a note on that, the type of cranberry juice that I use. So again, that's 1 ounce, which is about 2 tablespoons. And then we'll squeeze in 1/4 of a lime. That sour is going to just bring out, you know, all the other flavors. So this has kind of a sweet and tart personality to it. And then we'll top that off with some mineral water. I love this San Pellegrino. Mineral water is nice because in order for it to be called mineral water, it has to be from a natural spring that has certain minerals in it. And those minerals, a lot of them are electrolyte minerals, which means it actually can help our body hydrate. So this is something I buy by the case in glass bottles from Costco. Really nice to have on hand. And, you know, at dinner time, my husband and I will often whip up a mocktail while we're cooking so that, you know, just so that we can have something that feels, you know, festive without alcohol in it. So go ahead and stir that up. And then for garnish, you can, I'll toss the lime in here. That rind will add a little bit of flavor. And then for garnish, I like to use cranberries. These are just from the freezer aisle. So you don't necessarily, it doesn't have to be Thanksgiving time to find these. And one thing I really like about cranberries is that, you know, they're super high in antioxidants. And one thing they're very high in is iodine, which is a key thyroid supporting nutrient. Our thyroid requires iodine to make thyroid hormone and to function. Now, really important to note that iodine is one of those things where we want just enough. We want not too much and not too little, because if we don't have enough, that can cause thyroid issues. And if we're getting too much iodine, that can also cause thyroid issues. So yeah, just something to note about the thyroid-friendly highlights of this drink is that the cranberry juice and, you know, our cranberry garnish that we'll just put on top here to make it pretty is going to add some iodine. You know, great natural food source of iodine, but just, you know, something to be aware of. More iodine doesn't mean better. It can actually make things like thyroid autoimmunity worse if we're overdoing it on iodine. Still, we need enough of it in our diets because our bodies don't produce iodine on their own. We do require it from the foods we eat or the drinks we drink. So, you know, kind of just something to be aware of there, but iodine is a key thyroid supporting nutrient. So there you have it. That's our cranberry ginger fizz. It's so delicious. Let's give it a taste. I love this. This is such a, it's pretty. I love the color. It's so festive. You could put like a sprig of rosemary in there at the holidays to make it, you know, really Christmassy or whatever. But this is really nice because the recipe in that Thyroid-Healthy Thanksgiving Survival Guide and e-cookbook makes enough to serve 8. So it's kind of, you know, a recipe that's designed for entertaining. And one thing I know when I'm entertaining and I've got, you know, 10 different things on the stove and in the oven and I'm busy is I don't want to have to provide like more than one special drink. Like, here's a mocktail option and here's a cocktail option for your guests. The nice thing about this is, you know, depending on what your guests want to do, you can spike this with a shot of vodka for your guests who, or, you know, if you want to add vodka to that, you just put about an ounce of that in there. And that's really nice. You know, that cranberry, ginger, cinnamon, all those flavors go really well with that. So it works either as a mocktail or a cocktail. So just nice for entertaining that way. But that's our first mocktail. And next up, we'll make our virgin martini. Okay, so this virgin martini recipe is so simple and kind of funny. This is one of the most highly trafficked recipes on my blog. I think it's just one of those things where people are like, wait, a virgin martini? Because if you like martinis, then you know that a martini is basically 100% alcohol. It's pretty much vodka or gin shaken with a little bit of vermouth, and, you know, poured into like the classic martini glass with olives. You can also serve it on the rocks. But this version has a history in our family because my husband's grandmother, who he was very close with, was a character and a wonderful woman, and she was a champion ballroom dancer. She competed in the tango into her 80s. And my husband spent a lot of time with her, and she was of that generation where you had your 5 o'clock cocktails, and she loved her martinis. And so when my husband was a little kid, she would make her martini and she would make him this. So this is a virgin martini. It's really super simple. I do serve it on the rocks. For the base, we just use some plain mineral water. I've got my San Pellegrino here. And then to give it a little bit of that, you know, complexity that you get from an alcoholic cocktail that, you know, isn't sweetened, doesn't have other flavors in it. Like a martini is very simple. But to get some of that complexity, we're going to actually add some digestive bitters. And these can be really helpful for us as thyroid patients because a lot of us have insufficiency in our digestive juices. We have a hard time making enough bile. That means we don't digest our food always as easily and as efficiently as, you know, a typical person would. And that can affect our whole digestion. It can affect how much nutrients we get from our food. And bitters made from different types of bitter plants help stimulate those digestive juices. So this is one we love to make while we're making dinner because those bitters kind of help get those digestive juices going, get us ready to, you know, enjoy and digest and get the most nutrition out of our meal. So one thing to know about bitters is that typically they are suspended in alcohol. So it does add a trace amount. There are some alcohol-free bitters out there. I know there's a company out of Sweden, I think called Flora, that makes alcohol-free bitters. So if you need to be absolutely alcohol-free, you can find alcohol-free bitters. These are, you know, just really pure. They're from a medicinal herb company out of Utah. Most people are familiar with these Angostura bitters, which would work fine, but these do have, you know, natural flavors, caramel color. So, you know, choose what type of bitters works for your needs and your personal dietary restrictions at this time. So yeah, just mineral water, bitters, and then we put some olives in here. You can use the traditional Spanish olives. These are some pitted Castelvetranos. This is one of my absolute favorite olives. So this drink also kind of comes with a snack. If you like a dirty martini, you can also add a little splash of that olive brine in there. That'll add a little bit of salt, a little bit of electrolytes, and a little bit of flavor too. But yeah, so this is really, there's no sugar. It's completely unsweetened. It's savory, but it does have some flavor to it. And it feels like you're having, you know, something like a martini. So there you have it. That's our virgin martini. Love, love, love that. Wow, those bitters are really good. I haven't tried these before. This is a new bottle. Those are really tasty. Sundial Medicinals. Okay. Last but not least, we're going to make our Super-Hydrating Citrus Chia Fresca. The recipe for that virgin martini that we just made can be found on the Hypothyroid Chef blog, as well as the recipe for this Citrus Chia Fresca. So those two you can find on the blog. I will put the links for these recipes in the video description. So this one is kind of based on a couple of things. One of them being a drink called the Adrenal Cocktail that's made with vitamin C, salt. You know, there's different recipes for it, but different nutrients that do support our adrenals. And our adrenal health and thyroid health really do go hand in hand. So this does have some of those, you know, adrenal supportive properties. I am going to be making a double batch of this recipe, so what we'll use is the juice of 1 whole orange. This tool is called a citrus reamer. I really like using this instead of just squeezing by hand because you get a lot more juice out of your citrus this way. So I'm going to go ahead and strain that to keep all the seeds out. And then we also are going to add the juice of 1 lime. Okay, so we've got our freshly squeezed orange and lime juice. We're going to add that to a mason jar along with 2 cups of coconut water. This is organic, unsweetened, that I also get from Costco. And coconut water is nice because it's pretty high in potassium, which is another key thyroid supporting nutrient, and also one of those electrolyte minerals that, you know, what electrolytes do is they really help the hydration that we consume get into our muscles and tissues so that they work better, you know, and that also includes like our brain tissue. So it can really give us a nice energizing boost, and hydrating drinks like this, you know, when you're feeling that afternoon slump, can be really helpful in giving you a little bit of a boost without using caffeine. So yeah, we've got our coconut water, orange juice, lime juice, and then we're going to add a tablespoon of chia seeds. Now, the other drink that this recipe is based on is Chia Fresca, which is kind of thought of as like a Mexican hangover cure. There's other Central American countries that they serve Chia Fresca in as well. So it does have chia seeds, which means that this drink is best if you let it sit for at least 10 minutes so that those chia seeds can gel, and that makes some of the healthy fats and other minerals and nutrients in them more bioavailable to us. And then a hefty pinch of salt just for more electrolytes. So after you've got everything in there, you just want to go ahead and give that a good shake. And again, normally I would let this sit for about 10 minutes to let those chia seeds gel, but for the video, I'll just go ahead and pour and take a sip, and they can kind of gel as they sit after we wrap it up here. And for this one, I'll just add a little lime wedge for garnish and a little bit more flavor. Now this one is not carbonated, so you know, you can make a big batch of this Chia Fresca and just keep it in the fridge too, you know, if you are wanting to try that as just like an afternoon pick-me-up as well. So citrus Chia Fresca. That is so delicious. It's wonderful on a hot day. It's so super hydrating, and it's just like a great alternative to like sports drinks and, you know, different electrolyte drinks to help energize you and support your, you know, muscle, athletic performance, you know, lots of different things that electrolytes do. And hydration, like so many other things, is one of those things that we can tend to struggle with as thyroid patients. So there you have it. 3 delicious thyroid-friendly mocktails: our Cranberry Ginger Fizz, our Virgin Martini, and our Citrus Chia Fresca. I hope you find some time to enjoy these mocktails soon. I hope that they make your thyroid-friendly lifestyle brighter, tastier, more fun, more celebratory. Again, if you would like to find the recipes for the Virgin Martini or the Citrus Chia Fresca, the links for those are below. I'll also put the link to my Thyroid-Healthy Thanksgiving Survival Guide and e-cookbook, where you can find this festive Cranberry Ginger Fizz mocktail. The recipe for that is in there. Also, if you would like to learn more about thyroid-friendly food, drinks, lifestyle, go ahead and download my free thyroid-friendly grocery guide. It features over 130 delicious, colorful, nutrient-dense foods you can enjoy that are anti-inflammatory, whole foods-based, and just, it's kind of like a great tool for your imagination to start thinking and visualizing, like, what do thyroid-friendly meals look like? So you can download that at hypothyroidchef.com/grocery. And I'll also put the link for that in the show notes as well. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Cheers to your health. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Ginny Mahar, your thyroid health and cooking coach, wishing you happy cooking, happy thriving, and the best of health. See you next time.